uncle, back of his day, sorry guys, my microphone's going in and out. Okay, here we go. That's better. So my uncle, I'm sorry, I keep repeating myself, but this dingy little microphone. My uncle is worried every day in the back of his mind because both of his parents had Alzheimer's, and he's like, every day I worry it's gonna hit me because both of my parents had it. So that's why when I did my research, I made sure to ask, is it genetic? And this when I asked, yes, both Alzheimer's disease and dementia can have genetic components. Alzheimer's disease, certain genes such as APP, PS1, and PS2 can increase the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. These genes are inherited in an autosomal dominant pattern, meaning that a person only needs to inherit one copy of the mutated gene from either parent to be at risk. An early onset Alzheimer's disease, which occurs before the age of 65, is often caused by these genetic mutations. Dementia is a broader term that encompasses various types of cognitive decline, including Alzheimer's disease, some types of dementia, such as frontotemporal dementia and Huntington's disease, have a strong genetic component. Other types of dementia, such as vascular dementia, may have a more complex interplay between genetics and environmental factors. It's important to note that having a genetic predisposition does not guarantee that a person will develop Alzheimer's disease or dementia. Other factors such as lifestyle, environment, and age also play a role. So it's not technically just genetics. Genetic testing can be available to determine if a person has inherited genes that increase their risk of developing Alzheimer's disease or dementia. However, this is not always recommended as it can have emotional and ethical implications. So if you get that and you find out, oh, I have the gene, every day you're going to be like worrying, but it's good to know. But also, if you have anxiety, I can understand why they're saying it's not good to technically get it. If you suspect someone has it and you notice a decline, here's what research said about how to help them. If you suspect a family member has dementia or Alzheimer's, start by having a calm, private conversation to express your concerns and encourage them to see a doctor for a medical evaluation to find out the cause and any memory loss. Be prepared for resistance, as people often want to maintain their independence. Once a diagnosis is made, create a supportive environment, establish a consistent routine, and maintain a safe home, and seek out resources like support groups and community services for both the person with dementia and yourself. And initiate a conversation. Choose the right time and place. Pick a quiet, comfortable, and familiar setting like home, like your house, their house. Use gentle, non-judgmental language. Ask if they notice changes in themselves or they're feeling any different, and express your concern comes from a place of caring. Listen and validate. Allow them to express their feelings without interruption, even if you don't agree. Like I always say, you have to validate feelings when they're telling you something. Focus one step at a time. The goal is to open communication and establish trust, not to resolve everything all at once. Seek medical diagnosis. Schedule a medical evaluation. A primary care doctor or a geriatrician, I think it says, because it would make sense. Geriatrician, that would make sense. Geriatrician can conduct a medical evaluation, determine a cause of memory problems, and understand the possibilities. Memory loss can sometimes be reversed due to medication adjustments or issues like depression. Prepare for possible diagnosis. Early diagnosis allows for better preparation for future and access to appropriate support. Create a supportive environment, establish a routine, create a consistent daily schedule for bathing, dressing, and meals. Make home safe and comforting, reduce noise, clutter, keep well-loved objects and values, photos visible, and lock away and keep dangerous items out of reach. Provide reassurance, offer support, and assurance to help the person maintain their dignity. And managing behavior changes. Be patient and understanding. Try to understand the logical reasons behind behaviors like agitation, confusion. Redirect attention. Gently redirect the person to a new activity, such as watching TV, listening to music, or going for a walk. Understand sundowning. Sundowning. I did know a family who we grew up with. I think I spoke about her on the episode about grief. She lost her husband back in November. She actually was a caretaker to her father-in-law, the man who passed away, his father. He lived with them for a while when they were across the street. And she would always tell us about his sundowning, and he would just sundown. Let's talk about sundowning. So understand sundowning. Be aware that some people become disturbed in the evenings, and consistent routine, early lights, and less stimulation as the day ends can help. And access to resources and support. Lead on community resources. Explore the Community Resources Finder for local adult daycare services, senior centers, and more. Find support for yourself. Join a support group or call a helpline. I will give resources for not only the caretakers, but the people living with Alzheimer's to get the help that they need. I'll give the resources in a little bit. So this is what it says: find support for yourself, join a support group, or call a helpline provided by organizations like the Alzheimer's Association to help with the emotional toll of caregiving. Educate yourself. Visit alzheimers.gov for information and tips on caring for someone with dementia. Now, here are some statistics on Alzheimer's and dementia. In the U.S., 7.2 million people have Alzheimer's and other dementias as of April 2025. A number of projected to double, but the way I just read that, I apologize. A number projected to double by 2060. Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia, accounting for 60 to 80% of cases. Age is the biggest risk factor, with rate increasing significantly in older groups. Though dementia is not a normal part of aging in the U.S., almost 10% of adults 65 and older have dementia. 1 in 3 seniors dies with some form of dementia, and the prevalence over 7 million Americans live with Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. The risk of developing Alzheimer's and dementia dramatically increases with age. It is not considered a normal part of aging. The demographic disparities: older Black and Hispanic adults are more likely to have Alzheimer's and other dementias than older non-Hispanic and white adults. Mortality. Excuse me, I read that word wrong. Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of the U.S. and one of the top 10 causes that cannot be cured, prevented, or slowed. And some future projections: unless increasing cases, unless new treatments are found, the number of older adults with Alzheimer's dementia in the U.S. is projected to nearly double to 13.8 million by 2060. The financial burden, health and long-term care costs for people with dementia are estimated to reach $384 billion in 2025 and nearly $1 trillion by 2050. These are all the statistics. Let's see. Undiagnosed cases. Globally, a significant portion of dementia cases, especially in low-income countries, here are some research: people with Alzheimer's, dementia, and also the people who are the caregivers. I gave some in my caregivers episode, but let me give some again. So the national and international organizations: Alzheimer's Association, alz.org. The helpline is 1-800-272-3900. Offers education, support groups, local chapter programs, and caregiver resources. The Alzheimer's Society in the UK, alzheimers.org.uk. Dementia Connect support line, resources for patients, caregivers. Who says it's not even a word? That's what the research gave me. And guidance on legal financial planning. Dementia Friends is dementiafriends.org.uk. It's a global initiative to raise awareness and create dementia-friendly communities. Alzheimer's Disease International. It's ADI. It is alzint.org. The website, let me reread that because the way I said that was kind of like confusing. It's alzint.org, the Federation of Alzheimer's Association Worldwide, with information and global support connections. Now here's some support and helplines. National Institute on Aging, which is nia.nih.gov/health/Alzheimer's. It's a reliable U.S. government information on Alzheimer's and caregiving. Elder Care Locator is excuse me, let me repeat that. The Elder Care Locator is eldercare.acl.gov, and the number is 1-800-677-1116. The number is 1-800-677-1116. It helps find local caregiving, housing, and support services in the U.S. and local dementia hotlines, many hotlines. And here's some support for caregivers. Alzheimer's Association, caregiver support groups, online and local chapters, family caregiver alliance, caregiver.org, education resources and community forums, and respite care services, short-term relief for caregivers through adult day centers or in-home cares. And I also, if you go back to my episode about caregiving and mental health, there are some resources there for that. I could actually read them again. I could go back and read them. You know what? Let me go into that episode in my notes. So this is for caregivers right now. Let me reread caregiving and mental health. Here is the episode in my notes. Let me find those. Here are the resources that I have. We have the National Alliance for Caregiving, NAC, Caregiver Support and Advocacy, Family Caregiver Alliance, FCA, Education and Resources. We have NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, Support for Caregivers, and local respite services. And then let me go to anything with the numbers, more resources. The National Institute of Mental Health, health.gov, Alzheimer's.gov. We have NAMI, I read that. Family Caregiver Alliance, I think I spoke about that. Caregiver Action Network, SAMHSA, SAMHSA-ACF, for parents or caregivers of children and youth. Oh, this isn't for Alzheimer's. I apologize. This one. This is for just caregivers. This is my microphone keeps going out. It's so annoying. I'm so sorry, guys. Until I can get better stuff to do these episodes on. I'm trying to find if I missed any resources. I did not. Okay, back to the current episode notes. Alzheimer's and dementia. Okay. And then they have practical tools like memory cafes, informal meetups for people with dementia and caregivers, safety and wandering resources, medic alert and Alzheimer's, association safe return programs, daily living aids, large print clocks, reminder apps, GPS trackers. Now, this is one of my favorite parts when I give information about celebrities who have either struggled with Alzheimer's and dementia, or I'm going to give that. And I'm also going to give people who have caregiven for, or who've known people with dementia or had family members with dementia or Alzheimer's. So here we have Tony Bennett, legend. Legendary singer diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2016, publicly shared in 2021, continued performing with Lady Gaga despite memory loss. Glenn Campbell, country singer, country music star, revealed his Alzheimer's diagnosis in 2011 and did a farewell tour documentary, I'll Be Me. And Maurice Ravel, a composer, believed to have had a form of dementia later in life that affected his ability to compose. And we have some actors, Gene Wilder, the great Willy Wonka, and he was also young Frankenstein. Beloved actor known as Willy Wonka died in 2016 from complications of Alzheimer's. We have Charlton Heston, an Oscar-winner actor, disclosed he was experiencing Alzheimer's symptoms in 2002. We have Rita Hayworth. She's a Hollywood icon, one of the first celebrities widely known to have Alzheimer's, diagnosed in the 1980s. Some other public figures, we have Pat Summitt, legendary University of Tennessee women's basketball coach, diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at age 59. Ronald Reagan, the former U.S. president, publicly announced his Alzheimer's diagnosis in 1994. And Estelle Getty, the actress from The Golden Girls, lived with Lewy body dementia. So these stories have definitely helped reduce the stigma and increase awareness of Alzheimer's and dementia. And now there are many types of. I'm sorry, I'm reading my notes over because I don't want to just say something out loud and sound stupid. Okay. Anyways, dementia is a general term for decline in mental ability, while Alzheimer's is the most common specific cause of dementia, characterized by amyloid plaques and tau tangles. If I said that right, if I butcher that, I apologize. Other major types of dementia include vascular dementia, caused by problems with blood flow in the brain, and dementia with Lewy bodies. Oh, these were my resource. This was my research on the different types of dementia and Alzheimer's. Lewy bodies. We have frontal temporal dementia, which primarily affects personality and behavior. Mixed dementia, where more than one type occurs simultaneously. Just common. Okay, I'm sorry. Alzheimer's disease cause abnormal deposits of amyloid plaques and tau tangles. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. In the brain, early symptoms include memory loss, difficulty with reasoning, and problems finding words. Progression, symptoms gradually worsen over time, leading to severe confusion, behavioral changes, and more significant challenges. Vascular dementia, the cause is disrupted blood supply to the brain, often due to strokes or other conditions that affect blood vessels. And here are the symptoms of vascular dementia. It can include problems with concentration, planning, and short periods of sudden confusion. Dementia with Lewy bodies. The cause is accumulation of abnormal alpha. I'm going to try to say this word. Alpha synuclein proteins, known as Lewy bodies in brain cells, often involves confusion, hallucinations, delusions, and problems with movement, such as stiffness or tremors. Now we have frontal temporal dementia. Cause is an accumulation of abnormal tau and TDP43 proteins in the frontal or temporal lobes of the brain. Symptoms, more prominent in early stages, are changes in personality, behavior, decision-making, and language skills, with memory impairment being less pronounced than in Alzheimer's, and some mixed dementia caused by the presence of two or more types of dementia. Most commonly, a combination of Alzheimer's and vascular dementia, and symptoms, a blend of symptoms from the contributing dementia types. Now we have Parkinson's disease dementia that occurs in people with Parkinson's disease, characterized by movement problems and cognitive changes. I think next episode I'm going to focus on Parkinson's disease. Okay, so we have, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it's CJD. I can't pronounce those words. CJD, a rare, rapidly progressing brain disorder that causes dementia. We have Huntington's disease, a genetic disorder that can lead to dementia and other neurological problems. We have chronic traumatic CTE. I'm just going to say CTE because I don't know how to pronounce that last word and I don't want to mess it up. A degenerative brain disease linked to repetitive head trauma. Oh, CTE, yes, I do know. Right, they study. Go. Okay. Sorry. Where? Sorry, guys. I'm not starting this episode over. Okay, there we go. Sorry, my microphone went out for a minute. We were just talking about CTE, which is a degenerative brain disease linked to repetitive head trauma. They do that a lot. When a lot of football players, when something happens where they do something out of character towards the end of their life, like either commit suicide or they commit a crime, or something that's like causing them to do dangerous things, they like to study their brains after they pass away to see if they were affected by CT. It's very common in a lot of NFL players or football players. Excuse me. Sorry, my microphone went in and out. Okay, so now here are some celebrities who advocate for Alzheimer's and dementia. Celebrities who have advocated for dementia and Alzheimer's include Seth Rogen, Lauren Miller Rogan, they do Hilarity for Charity, Maria Shriver, the Alzheimer's Project, Rita Hayworth, her diagnosis helped reduce stigma, Glenn Campbell publicly shared his diagnosis, Ronald Reagan, whose public battle with Alzheimer's raised awareness. Other prominent figures like Scott Conant, excuse me, Victor Garber, and the Alzheimer's Association. These are some celebrity champions like Samuel L. Jackson and Marcia Gay Harden. They also support the cause through awareness campaigns and fundraising. So we have Seth Rogen and Lauren Miller Rogan. After Lauren Miller's mother was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, the couple founded Hilarity for Charity, an organization that raises money for Alzheimer's research and bridges the gap in understanding the disease. Maria Shriver, the journalist and First Lady, helped care for her father with Alzheimer's and has been a significant advocate for Alzheimer's awareness and research. We have Rita Hayworth, the iconic actress's public diagnosis with early onset Alzheimer's in 1980 was one of the first of its kind in significantly reducing the stigma surrounding the disease and sprung increased research funding. We have Glenn Campbell, the country music legend, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2011 and used his illness to raise awareness and reduce the stigma associated with the condition. We have Ronald Reagan, the former U.S. president, public battle with Alzheimer's after his time in office helped elevate the public understanding and discussion of the disease. We have Samuel L. Jackson. The actor joined the Alzheimer's Association's Generation Hope advertising campaign, helping to raise awareness among different generations. We have Marcia Gay Harden. The actress, is a strong advocate, stating her desire to be part of the solution to Alzheimer's, which has a personal connection to her. We have Scott Conant. He's a celebrity chef supporting Keep Memory Alive, a group that funds research and programs for brain disorders. We have Vic Garber. Having lost both of his parents to Alzheimer's, the actor has become vocal advocate using his platform to draw attention to the issue. Now, there's that. So those are some great advocates. Now we have, this is my favorite thing, the affirmations. Now if you are talking to someone in the early stages of Alzheimer's or another form of dementia, it can feel very intimidating, and often what they need the most is patient dignity and reassurance. Now let me give you some affirmations to tell them. And towards the end, it does give a good tip that you can put sticky notes on the wall every day to remind them as their cognitive function is declining more and more, unfortunately. So here's offer reassurance. I'm here for you. Uh, we'll get through this together. You are not alone. Focus on strengths, not losses. You still have so much to share. I love hearing your stories. Your smile always makes my day. Speak clearly and calmly with short sentences. Ask one question at a time. Would you like tea or coffee instead of what would you like to drink? Allow time for them to respond. Encourage independence when possible. Would you like to help me set the table? Or do you want to pick which walk we take today? And here's what to avoid. Don't say, do you remember? It can cause frustration. Don't correct or argue if they're confused. Redirect gently instead, and don't talk over them, treat them like a child. Conversation tips. Talk about familiar topics, family, hobbies, music, pets, past accomplishments. Use names instead of pronouns. Hi, Sarah, or hi. Share photos or objects. They often spark memories more than words. Above all, listen with patience. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't the affirmations part. As I was reading it, I was like, wait, this isn't affirmations. Like this that was my apologize. I'm a mess today. I was I did a lot today. And my brain is fried. Um, that was the part where it said like how you can basically talk to somebody in early stages and how you can navigate having conversations with them. Okay. Now this is my favorite part. I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. I just got too excited. I love affirmations, I guess you could say. Now my favorite part. Now it's difficult to really pair this part with the topic, but the end, like I said, is gonna give you this is the part I was talking about when I said the end's gonna give you a great tip because it does. So affirmations can provide comfort, dignity, and reassurance for people living with Alzheimer's or dementia. They work best when they are simple, positive, and easy to repeat. Affirmations for daily comfort: I am safe and loved. Um, I am valued and important. I deserve kindness and patience. I can enjoy this moment. It's okay to ask for help. Some affirmations: my life has meaning. I am more than my memory. I actually I actually like that. I want to put that on a shirt, and 10% of proceeds would go to an Alzheimer's or a dementia, like, charity. I'm gonna read these back later and work on some designs. Okay, anyway, let me get back to it. I am surrounded by people who care about me. I bring joy to others. I choose peace today. Um, I can take things one step at a time. I let go of worry and accept comfort. I'm stronger than I realize. Now, tips for using affirmations: keep them short, easy to read. Print or write them on cards, place them around the home for the person with dementia or Alzheimer's. Repeat them out loud together. The rhythm and positivity can be soothing. Pair them with gentle music, photos, or touch for extra reassurance. Now, these are affirmations for people whose loved ones are the person battling with the disease or they were just diagnosed, because it does get very stressful. Now, I did talk about the caregiving, but these are tips for things to affirmations for people who just found out their loved one is struggling with the disease. It can be very stressful because you can be in the moment where you could be like, "Oh, what's my next steps?" You're like sitting there contemplating, "What are my next steps? I gotta do this, I gotta do that." It can be a very stressful time. So here are some affirmations. I can face one day at a time. I am stronger than I feel right now. I will learn and grow through this experience. I don't have to have all the answers today. My love and presence make a difference. I can choose patience and kindness even in hard moments. I like that. That is especially because I'm sure it gets very frustrating, and you have to ground yourself and remember, like, okay, this is my loved one. Yes, they may be getting agitated right now with me and being nasty to me, but I have to remember that's not what they can't help it. I will treasure the moments of connection we still share. Love is greater than memory. It's okay for me to rest and recharge. As I care for my loved one, I will also care for myself. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. I am not alone on this journey. And some affirmations for hope and resilience. There will still be joy, laughter, and love along the way. I can find beauty in the small moments. I have support and resources available to me. I focus on what we can do, not on what is lost. Now, I just want to say my heart goes out to anybody who has the disease 100%. It's gotta be really hard. It's gotta be really hard. But my heart especially goes out to also the family members because, you know, it's one of those things where the family members are the ones who pick up the pieces of the disease. Like, the person living with it, it's 100% it is hard on them as well. It gets very frustrating, especially when they're trying to remember things. They get very frustrated. They're like, "Oh, if you don't remember somebody," and the person on the other end of the conversation, like a family member, is like, "Oh, you don't remember me," or they're confused. It's a lot for a family to handle. So I'm not gonna just single out one person in the dynamic of people living with dementia, whether it's the caregiver, the family member, or the person living with it. I'm gonna say my heart goes out to the families of people living with dementia or Alzheimer's. I'm not just gonna say if it's the person, because I think when it comes to knowing somebody living with the disease or being somebody living with disease, it's not easy. It's not easy, but just know that there is help available. You can speak to a professional and get the help that you need, or somebody who can walk you and your family through. each step. Um, you know, it's not easy, but like my heart breaks. There's this woman. I give a mention to her. There's this woman on Facebook that I follow. Her page is called Cooking with Nona. I'm Italian myself. She has an aunt, or her grandmother, I think, has Alzheimer's, dementia, and she cooks with her, and she just always talks about growing up. She would always cook with her grandma. She always cooks these nice recipes with her grandma and her aunts and her family. And it's just beautiful to see, but my heart also goes out to the girl who, she's the content creator on the page, because I couldn't imagine like going your whole life enjoying doing these things with a family member, this family member, and like they're slowly declining. Their cognitive abilities are just declining, and it's hard. And heart goes out to, like I said, my heart goes out to families that are rattled with Alzheimer's and dementia. It's not easy. Now, thank you guys for listening today. I hope this episode helped. If you or anyone you know is struggling, text home to 741-741 for a free confidential conversation with a trained counselor any time of day. Text or call 988 or use that function at 988lifelines.org. 988 continues to offer support to anyone who needs it, but no longer offers specialized LGBTQ plus support. If you're looking for specialized LGBT, contact the Children. The number is 1-866-488-7386. Text START to 678-678 or connect online at trvr.org/get-help for the same free and secure support as always. Now you can find more crisis resources at jedfoundation.org/crisis. And the new lifeline for the LGBTQIA+ given by Canada is 1-877-330-6366, or you can call the national NAMI, which is the National Mental Health Alliance. I think it's NAM. I'm just going to say NAMI. Is 800-950-6264, or you can text NAMI to 62640. And thank you guys for listening. See you guys next time. Remember, this too shall pass. Love you guys. Stay well.